My name is Kwabena Asomaning. I am a Ghanaian from West Africa, and I have been in art ever since I was born. Because I am fortunate to be a second-generation artist, being the fact that my father, who just retired as a university lecturer, is also an artist, who is also a jewelry artist and lectured in the university all his life. So I happen to be a second-generation artist, and I was born into an art family. So growing up, I saw myself at the age of 12 years having a jewelry studio, and I developed interest in jewelry art. And fortunately, I realized that I have in my genes the ability to draw and to design and to create. So it led me on to high school, secondary school, to pursue art in school. And I also decided that I would take jewelry art into the university. So I took my passion to the Kwabena University of Science and Technology in 1996, where I gained admission into the Faculty of Arts, and I studied industrial arts with my major in jewelry between 1996 and the year 2000. And my mother has been a teacher all her life, so I also have this passion for always teaching and imparting my knowledge to people. So soon after my graduation, I was called on to become a teaching assistant in the university. And that's where my interest in teaching what I know got deepened. And so right after that, I decided to practice jewelry as a private jewelry practitioner, a freelance artist. And I had my own studio. And at the same time, I decided to take up teaching appointments in a secondary school where I was teaching art. And that led me from one school to another, and then led me also to my neighboring country, Nigeria, where I was also teaching. And then I decided to come back home. That was between 2013 and 2019. And then I came back home to my motherland, Ghana, in 2019. And ever since, I have been in jewelry art practice. Currently, I run the brand name called Gold Sense Ghana. And Gold Sense Ghana deals in jewelry art in any material, specifically on most occasions gold, and on most occasions any other material, whether it's organic or inorganic jewelry. And in my private practice as a jeweler, I offer training mostly to females, young girls who don't have any means of furthering their education in the university. I offer training to them, and I have them coming in here sometimes for 6 months, sometimes for 3 months to train in art jewelry. And these people that I take on for training are already familiar with art. They know how to draw and all that. So I help them to bring what they have inside them out in terms of design, creation, drawing, and also in terms of producing jewelry. So basically, that has been. And my interest in art led me back to school, where I decided to study Masters in Fine Art, majoring in a research on royal jewelry. And so currently, I am studying as a Master of Fine Art student, taking courses like contextual studies and art philosophy and art education. And I believe that it will make me a better person to offer more training to the youth in Ghana. So in short, so far, that's me. Thank you. Like I was saying earlier on, I personally see everything as art. If you take the field of engineering, I see it as art. If you take the field of medicine, it's art. Art to me includes anything that involves creativity. And art education is able to energize our youth, energize students, energize anybody who goes through it to become more creative. If you become more creative in thinking and creative in the use of materials, you end up becoming a better person in any field you take. The world is looking at sustainability currently, and creativity leads to sustainability. If we have art education, we will understand creativity better. And when we understand creativity better, sustainability will be an easy thing for us to accomplish. Art education also, to me, makes us more analytical. It makes us more critical. If you look at the life of a social scientist, or let's say a social researcher who hasn't done any art education, and you compare the same with somebody who is into social research and has some level of education in art, it might even be primary school or basic art education. That person, that researcher will be a better person because his level of analytical thinking will lead him and enable him to become a better researcher. Even in the field of medicine, those with art background, that's why I always feel that art education at the basic education level is very important. So because by the time you move on to university education, whether you do IT or engineering or medicine, you would have had some level of art education in you. And that will propel you in any field of career you find yourself to become creative and also to become more analytical. So to me, art education is very, very essential. Very essential. And I'll use a friend of mine who works as a branch manager of an organization here in Ghana. He has no form of art education. But because of my interactions with him over the years, he's been able to imbibe into some principles of art education. And so he tells me every day that he realizes that in leadership, the more creative you are, the easier it becomes for you to lead your people. And so this is a typical example of somebody who is a leader in his organization. He's a head of department actually. But because of his interactions with me and because of the little ideas and principles of art that he's been able to pick from me, he tells me that art plays a role in leadership because through his interactions with me and through the basic knowledge of art and creativity that he's gotten, it makes leadership more practical for him. And then I come to my own self as somebody who has been in the field of art all my life, from primary school to university, and currently still practicing art. I see creativity affecting my level of way I analyze everything. And so you tell me any news, whether it's from politics or international relations or on world war or on peace or anything, any topic you bring to me, I'm able to analyze it better because of my level of art education. It makes me critical, it makes me analytical, it makes me creative. And when you deal with art, you find yourself that you become a good listener. Because in art, we observe more than we talk. In art, we observe nature a lot. Sometimes we find ourselves in the natural environment just observing. And so art education ends up in you a habit of becoming somebody who is very, very such a good listener, that you're able to listen, you're able to observe before you speak. And so art education, to me personally, has enabled me to become a good listener. And it has enabled me to become a good observer. I can observe, like, excuse me to say, CIA for a long time without talking. And but by the time I start talking on a subject, I speak better because it has taken me a long time to observe and to watch. That's what art does to you. Time to reflect, time to observe, and time to watch. And there's also time to take into you. In all these process, your mouth is quiet and your brain is working and reflecting. So by the time you start speaking on a subject, you are speaking from deep thoughts, and that's what art does to you.